Life is a roller coaster of difficulties, and we must confront a variety of situations that may test our ability to overcome them. One of those difficulties stems from the environmental issues that we are battling to solve because they are the results of our deeds. Like air pollution, which poses the greatest dangers to the environment and has an impact on every living thing in the world. Good day, everyone. I am John Atienza, your host for this podcast today. We will talk about one of the challenges of the Philippine environment, which is air pollution. So what do you think, air pollution? What are the causes and effects? And what are the possible solutions for this phenomenon? So in this podcast, we will make some educated guesses, try and provide some answers for those questions. And now, I will introduce to each and every one of you our first set of guests, the professors from TAP. Can you tell us more about air pollution?
Thank you so much for inviting us. As you all are probably aware of, when we say pollution or air pollution, it may consist of chemicals or particles that can harm the health of humans, including, of course, animals and plants. Air pollution is one of the four types of pollution that the world is facing. Actually, it has long been a problem since its occurrence thousands of years ago, and is one of the largest health and environmental problems in the world.
As measured amount of chemical, biological, and physical contaminants in the air change the quality of the air. This is also known as air pollution, the unwanted pollutants or unusual increase in the quantity of some atmospheric elements.
I also would like to add that according to the estimate of the Institute of the Health Metrics and Evaluation, 11.65% of the deaths in the year 2019 is contributed by the air pollution. Sad to say, currently the Philippines is the 64th rank in the list of countries that have the worst quality of air made by IQ Air.
I can't believe that we are ranked that high considering that we are living in such a small country. Now let's find out the causes of this phenomenon. I'd like to introduce to you our next guest, Mr. Campit and Ms. Fontanilla, the environmental scientists.
Many individuals believe that the major source of air pollution is industrialization. People overlook the fact that as a result of population rapid growth from 1970 to the present, consumers continue to demand increasing number of products from industries without knowing the impact to the environment.
Vehicles are also one of the biggest contributors of pollutants to the air, for the reason that a lot of people use their private cars instead of public transportation to avoid contact with other people, especially at this time of pandemic. Therefore, a lot of vehicles travel and emit harmful gas. This harmful gas is called carbon dioxide emissions, which ride in tandem with the number of vehicles on the road that greatly affects the air pollution.
I agree with the both of you. I also commute via public transportation to reduce my carbon emissions. Dr. Fresnido, can you give us some examples here in the Philippines?
Sure, I've noticed that at the start of the pandemic, the number of vehicles that travel around the metro decreased due to the restrictions that were implemented by the government. That time, the air quality improved because of the decline in carbon dioxide emitted by vehicles. Yes, it is quite a relief that the pandemic will end soon and we will go back to the life that we used to. But the saddest part is that the pollution in the country will get worse.
Could not agree more. The amount of smoke I inhale every day when I'm commuting is endless. Now that we've understood the roots of this problem, let's find out how air pollution affects the Philippines. We will go on to the third set of guests, the residents of the Philippines.
As a frequent commuter, many of us are exposed to the pollutant containing air caused by the smoke that bilges out from numerous cars buses, jeepneys, and other modes of transportation here in the Philippines. Filipinos' long-term exposure to air pollution raises the risk of developing illnesses such as asthma, lung cancer, and stroke, as well as comorbidities to COVID 19. This is what makes air pollution not just an environmental problem, but also a health threat.
Yes, air pollution is a silent killer, and its impact on our country is cruel. I've recently read an article written by the Philippine Daily Inquirer that an air pollution is costing the Philippines about 4.5 trillion and causing tens of thousands of deaths annually, with premature deaths as well as lost livelihoods and economic productivity. The report, aiming higher, benchmarking the Philippine Clean Air Act, find that about 66,000 premature deaths from non-communicable diseases and lower respiratory infections each year are directly linked to the pollution. And so as to say, yes, it's a major contributor of death and very, very dangerous if left untreated.
Let's also think about how air pollution not just affects us humans, but also our wildlife and could lead to species of plants and animals one day being made extinct. We cannot have a healthy ecosystem that provides us the air we breathe and the food we eat if there is no wide range of animals, plants, and microorganisms. All life forms are precious, then do not deserve to go extinct.
I see. So the effects all goes to the wellness of our biodiversity. Air pollution will result to disease and death. And we don't want that. So let's not wait any longer and hear out our environmental engineers, our last guest, to tackle and share the possible solution for us to help lessen the air pollution here in the Philippines. We have Engineer Molina, Vida, and Limbaga.
Thank you, Mr. Atienza, for having us here. In order to facilitate and provide necessary ways to aid in cleansing the air in the environment, the primary suggestion for this is to mitigate or completely eradicate the use of fossil fuel, switch off appliances and lights when not in use, since a large number of fossil fuel have to be burned in order to produce electricity. You can save our environment from degradation by reducing the amount of fossil fuel burned.
For me, I recommend the use of clean energy technologies like solar, wind, and geothermal, which is on the rise these days. Governments of various countries have been providing grants to consumers who are interested in installing solar panels for their homes. Undoubtedly, this can go a long way to curb air pollution, although it can be a bit pricey. I think it's worth it, especially if you have the means to invest for it.
I encourage people to use more and more public modes of transportation to reduce your carbon footprints. Also, try to make use of carpooling. If you and your colleagues come from the same locality and have the same timings, you can explore this option to save energy and money.
I'm with you on that. Take note of what we've learned today. It is important to be aware of the possible solution for this phenomenon to save our Mother Earth and also to sustain the beauty of the environment for the next generations. Thank you all of you, especially to our guests who joined us today and for answering several questions about the air pollution. Also, thank you to everyone who listened to our podcast. Have a great day and goodbye for now.